Alrighty. Nope, that's not what I need to transition to. Transition to this. You turn off the console. All right. About 10 minutes, I will have the oven preheated, and I can go from there. Okay, so let's continue what we were doing last time, which is just working on the base. Also, so I remember, so what's interesting is that when I started the God Home thing and I struggled with the first round, I'm like, oh, I hope I at least beat the first. Oh, okay. I hope I beat the first round at least, this stream. I did. I beat the first one, the second one, which I'm very proud of. I'm not going to lie. Uh, I am annoyed with the boss that I got stuck at because I remember when I was facing it during the Coliseum of Fools, it also pissed me off because I'm just like this. I don't know. I think I just didn't like it. Um, so I was hoping I wouldn't struggle until at least the halfway point. That is not the case, and I can assure you that this is not going to be one of those. Oh, I come back tomorrow rested, sober, fresh eyes, and everything, and beat it like my second try. It's not gonna happen. Maybe that boss, but like not the rest of the pantheon because I didn't even. I think that boss is probably the halfway point where I can, I can get full silk and everything back if I had to guess, but I'm not sure. I will say though that if for some reason I get too angry, to like beat the Pantheon. I'm like, you know what? I should be done with Hollow Knight. I'm done. Then I'll just beat the game like the easiest level possible just to get the Mr. Mushroom achievement. Because I've already done all the work. All I have to do is, beat the game. So that cutscene can play. My goal was this boss rush, like finish the boss rush shit and then go from there. But if I just get too angry and be like, you know what, I really want to be done with this game, then I'll go from there. Because I also know this isn't the worst part. Because I still have the pure vessel to do. Besides that part of Pantheon, I also have like absolute radiance to do, which is like I struggle with normal radiance. I'm really hoping that I don't have to face the pure vessel or any form of the vessel every time before I have to do the Radiance boss fight. That's my hope. Because if I do, I'll be very disappointed. Like, so disappointed. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was time to stop because I'm like, I can keep going for hours because, I'm off tomorrow, but at the same time, the alcohol is fully kicked in, which I like it because it helps me not take things so seriously. But because of that, my reflexes and acuity aren't that great. So it's like both a positive and a negative. So I'm like, you know what? I've defeated 2 of the 3 pantheons, which is good. it's probably nothing to celebrate about because, you know, I can't wait to post like, oh, I finished 2 of them. And people on TikTok being like, oh, well, those are the easy ones. I'm like, well, does shit have the easy ones? That's how Pantheon's 1 of 3 typically work. Also, you know, one thing that I don't understand about people in general is that when they see something online and they think, you know what, that boss didn't need to be cheesed, they then feel the need to say that. And not like, oh, I'm sorry that you felt the need to cheese it, but I feel like the boss fight's really cool without it, so like whatever. No, they're just like, oh, you're trash for having to do that. And I'm like, okay, cool, because you know, I didn't need to cheese it. I'm like, oh yeah, because you know, we're the same person with the same reflexes and the same mental acuity with these kind of games. Yes, we are the same. So of course. Well, I didn't need to. Well, that's great for you. I didn't feel the need to go on the internet and tell people how like negative things about themselves because I feel like that's not really necessary, but here you are. Will I say shit like that? No. If I had like 10 or like cuz I only have like 10 subscribers right now. If I had like 10,000 the percentage of people than I do now, would I do some shit like that? Probably. I would probably be like, "Oh, you know, I'm so happy that for you, you didn't need to do that. That's great. I'm happy for you." But you and I are not the same person. So yeah, okay, thanks, bye. Like, I just don't get it. I just really don't. Because like if I was in that position, I would think I didn't need to farm I didn't need to cheese that boss. I felt it was pretty easy. I would not go on that person's clip and be like, "Oh my god, I didn't need to cheese it." I'm like, because it's like, what point? What point is it? I'm sorry. I'm very hypercritical of what I perceive to be critiques and like not in a good way. And I'm working on it. It's one of the plus sides to, you know, getting critiqued about all of this crap because, you know, you have random voices on the internet being like, oh, why do you do this? And it's not overtly hostile or negative, but it's just negative enough where you're like, why? Like, what made you think that, like, you should say this? You know what's interesting? So, for those of you who don't know, I used to have this friend. Um, we were friends for like 4 years. Well, we were friends with benefits. And um, I remember that like the guidelines he had, I followed. You know, he wasn't a fan of being touched, so I only hugged him or anything if because I would ask him permission first. I'm like, is it okay if I do this? He said he's like, I don't like to be touched. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, don't use me for my money. I'm like, of course I wouldn't do that, but okay, cool. He's like, we are not in a relationship. We are friends with we are in a sexual relationship. I'm like, okay, cool. Um, and I'm not ready for one. I'm not ready for a romantic relationship. I'm like, that's fine. And I don't want anyone to move states for me. I'm like, that's a weird request because I live pretty close to you, but okay. Um, anyway, like I've talked about it before. Ooh, hold on. My food is to be put in the oven. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm sure I know for a fact, in previous streams, I have talked about this. And I'm sure in other streams, I will talk about it again. But the beginning of 2020, I matched with this guy on Scruff. And I will not say his name. I won't even call him anything. I'll just say that guy. I matched with him. I remember the first time I met him. At the time, I was working overnight and my job was very physically demanding. So I was thinner. I remember looking at him being like, oh, he's way out of my league. He and I were both very upfront from the beginning that we are not in a place where we want a romantic relationship. Just friends with benefits. I'm like, cool. So this was at the beginning of the pandemic. So like 2020-ish. I think I started talking to him it was like 2019 because I had just swapped to working an overnight gig. We met. And listen, I have a very low sex drive. Which is fine. So we met. We had a good time, I feel like. Like we hung up, we meshed pretty well. So we became friends. Hi. Hi, Elena, James. And hi Tiffy. Basically I'm just rambling because I am mildly intoxicated. So whatever crosses my mind, I just talk about. And I am talking about a friend slash relationship that ended up being a very bad one. And the reason why I talked about it, or what popped my mind, was because my current partner, he is very supportive of my interests and hobbies. And I feel like if for some reason the friend that I was about to go on a rant with, if we had started dating romantically, I feel like he would not have been as supportive. So I was just rant. Again, I'm mildly intoxicated, like I'm buzzed. So I just at this point, stream of consciousness. But I was just trying to fill dead air. That's all it really was. Nothing too serious. I apologize to both you, Elena James Zero, and the other person who was a first time chatter named Tiffy Adlove. I apologize for the delayed response. You wish you had a good partner in my life? I'm extremely lucky. I since I was never romantically inclined. Like I remember so I'm currently 35 years old. I remember very clearly in my early to mid 20s, hell, even my late teens, especially when I came out, I was like, I want a boyfriend, I want a partner, I want a relationship. And I'm not social. No one's done a mistake. I have some anxiety issues where I think I'm ignoring people. So I'm just overly cautious and apologizing for. Again, I'm very much in a place of if it passes my brain, there is no processing. It just comes out. Very stream of consciousness. It pops in and I say it. So, anyway, I remember in my 20s, my late teens, early mid-20s, I wanted to be in a relationship so badly. And I'm not a social person. I'm really not. I don't go to parties or anything. So, like a lot of people, I used dating apps. Back then, it was things like OkCupid and Plenty of Fish, all that fun stuff. And I tried to date. It didn't work out very well. So in the end, I remember complaining to my father, being like, "Why? You're like your hobby. It's similar to my habits. Thanks." Um, yeah. What kind of habits do you have in between my introspective rants of my past experiences? Um, while I await your answer, um, I will continue. So, I'm originally introverted and extroverted to social media. Uh, I feel I'm more introverted for both personally and for social media. I have never felt the need. I've never understood before I started streaming. I never understood why people felt the need to post about their personal lives on the internet. I mean, the occasional thing, sure, but like there are some people where anything they have to post about. And to that respect, I still understand it because I'm just like, you're in. I don't get it. But now that I'm streaming and I'm starting to get used to the internet as a whole having opinions about what I do or what I say. It's a whole new experience to me. You can't ignore any message and person who's close to me. Fair point. Very down to earth person. That's good. I mean, down to earth is good. I feel like I am too, minus some self-diagnosed anxiety issues. I overthink things a lot very quickly. So I'm very lucky to have a partner who is very understanding of that fact. And when not related to the previous conversation at all, but strictly just for my overthinking, let me put it this way. So my father and I got a new washing machine a week ago. Without getting into too much detail, it didn't work. The new one did not work, and we had to wait for a new one. I walked into my basement where it is. I could have sworn I smelled gas. Like, oh no, there's a gas leak in my house. What am I going to do? So I called my partner, and I told him, hey, I think there's a gas leak in my house. Every logical sense tells me that there is not, but I think there is. Please tell me that I'm overthinking things. He's like, I can just come over and make sure. I'm like, oh, that's so kind of you. You don't have to do that. I don't want to waste your time. And he's like, hey, anytime with you is not time wasted. So he came over. He's like, I smell no gas. You're good. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. It's probably the dirty laundry. That's what you're smelling. I'm like, fair point. I have a terrible sense of smell. Thank you for helping me get through this. And then he left. And that was it. So, yeah, I'm very lucky to have a partner who is understanding of my various neuroses and anxieties. You don't want to hurt anyone who's in love with you, or if someone ignores me, I do overthink and stress. Depression becomes friends of mine. Fair point. That's very fair. I cannot say what I have experienced in my past is depression because it has not been clinically diagnosed. But I do feel that for about 5 to 10 years after my mother passed away in 2009, I hit what I would describe a depressive episode. Self-diagnosed. What should you call me? I'm fine with pretty much anything. A lot of people I know, if they don't want to use my entire name, just use some form of variation of the name Vendetta. Apparently, especially on Twitch, Vendetta is a very common username. Thank you for your apologies. She passed away. It's quite a long time ago. And while I do have a lot of issues regarding the circumstances of her death, I have come to terms with it quite some time ago. Yeah, feel free to call me whatever you want. I've had some people call me Vendetti, Ven, V, Detta, various things. If there is a name you call me and I am uncomfortable with it, I will let you know. Otherwise, feel free to call me whatever. I understand that my name is not very marketable. Now, is it Lena? Like phonetically, is it Leena or Lena? Like Layna? Phonetically, which one would it be? Because in my experience, Lena. Okay. Lena, I apologize if my inebriated brain asks multiple times and still does not remember how to say it correctly. I apologize in advance. But how are you doing today? Are you doing well? I spent 2.5 hours in Hollow Knight trying to do the Pantheon rush, and I was failing on the third one, so I swapped to Power Wash while my food cooks. Thankfully, I am off tomorrow from work, so I do not have a bedtime, as it were. Oh, and if I didn't say it before, thank you very much for stopping by. I know you have your choice of streamers and content creators to listen to and watch, and I appreciate, if even for a moment, you stop by and listen to mine. Oh, I made this command. I can finally use it. Oh, maybe info is one that I'm misremembering. I'll look at that later. But yeah, I created my name because my favorite movie was V for Vendetta at the time of creation of my name. And I have an addictive personality, and I used to smoke cigarettes, so I combined the two. I also couldn't just do Vendetta because it's not so much now, but back then I played a lot of Destiny 2, and there was or still is, I assume, a prolific streamer of Destiny, and his name was T1 Vendetta. I remember when I created my name, someone asked me if I was a fan of his, and a fan of theirs. I don't know their gender. And I said, I don't know. I've never watched them. I just like the movie V for Vendetta. It's one of my favorites. No relation to the streamer. So that's always that was an interesting thing to have to explain a couple of times way back when. Anyway, to continue to fill dead air. What was I talking about? Yes. Back in 2019, I had a friend. I met someone on one of the dating apps, and we were friends for about friends with benefits for about 4 years. We were never like best friends. So I never, in hindsight, I know that I never felt fully 100% safe to be myself around him, because he was one of those, or still is one of those men who went through various familial issues in his life. So he was on his own in his late teens, early 20s. So in his mind, if you need help doing something, you're doing something wrong. Like, to best put this into an example, you know, when someone's like, oh, I'm going to this festival. Let's say hypothetically there's a festival called the ABC Festival. A friend of yours is like, I'm going to the ABC Festival next week. You don't know what the hell that is. So you ask, hey, what is the ABC Festival? I've never heard of it. Most people would say it stands for this. He would say you have the power of human ingenuity in your pocket on your phone. You can Google it. That was his mindset. He would answer your question, but he would also send you a website link to give you more information. And I always thought that was kind of odd because I'm just like, I don't need all the information. I just want to know what the name of it is because you're giving me an abbreviation for a name for an event. And if I want to Google it and get more information, I will do so after you tell me what it stands for. Anyway, we went to back in 2024. We went to a furry convention in Georgia named Furry Weekends Atlanta. Now, while I do kind of identify as a furry, it's not like I wear the costume or anything. It's just I am appreciative of the culture and of the art. We went with another friend of his, another friends with benefit with his. So there's 3 of us in one hotel room. He, at the time, lived in, I forget the state, but I want to say it was something like Connecticut or something like that. Some very rural state. And the 3 of us went. I thought the 3 of us went as friends. Yes, I had a friends with benefit relationship with one person, and then he had it with the other. But it was not all 3-way. Come to find out, I was wrong, and they were in the beginning stages of being in a romantic relationship. Due to my anxieties and my various neuroses, because I was not privy to this information beforehand, I thought I had done something wrong, and I was reading too much into things, and I should just calm down. Come to find out, I was not wrong. There was a falling out between the guy and myself that I am mostly over, but to this day, I still have some issues with it. My partner, he is helping me still to this day get over it. And I am thankful that that person who used to be my friend showed me what kind of person he was, so I did not waste any more time with them. Again, I'm giving in a very abbreviated version of what happened. Anyway, so the whole thought process behind this is I think all things remaining the same, just the partners are different. If I was dating that guy, or hell, even still friends with that guy, and I told him, hey, I want to be a streamer, I want to try being a streamer, he'd be like, that's dumb. Whereas my current partner is like, oh, well, I stream for fun from time to time, and I will support you any way that I can. So I'm very thankful to have a partner right now that is very understanding and is willing to help me navigate trying new things, despite my various insecurities. I appreciate it. So that was really it. That was the only reason why I went on that rant. Damn it, I was hoping I can get up. No other reason. Ooh, I still have like a quarter of my beer. How lovely. How much more time until my food is in the oven? Because once my food's almost out of the oven, I'll probably end stream in about 20 minutes. So I have time to eat the food, sober up, and let my dog out to do her final pee break of the night. I am looking forward to being done with Hollow Knight. To be honest, I'm still very surprised that I have gotten as far as I have in that game, considering before I played Silk Song, I hated Hollow Knight, and the games I played were typically RPGs, first person shooters, and all of that. So yeah. I'm still shocked to this day that I have not only 100%ed Hollow Knight Silk Song, but I'm currently at 109% on the original Hollow Knight. 108, 109, I can't remember which one it is. I'm up there. I'm still surprised. So yeah. Let's see. Ah, I fell. God damn it. Huh. Okay. That one's done. I still find it very interesting that it took me so long to start streaming. Well, I understand why. So I'm already lying. So I mean, I grew up in an age where YouTube became a thing. Because before, it was just people who wanted to post things on the internet. And then it became things where people could play video games. And then it became things where you could make a career and a living off of content creation. So people who were not part of that world just heard, oh, you can make a living, a good living from playing video games online. I'll do that. So I've, and many others like me, always had this, oh, I would love to start streaming. But until 2020, I didn't even own a good PC. It was like an Xbox and just a Chromebook laptop. Like that was it. And I hope to never forget this, but I remember even after having this computer, I always be like, you know what, I kind of want to start streaming, but I'm like, no one's gonna watch me. I'm not interesting. Whatever. After my partner and I knew each other, but before we were dating, we were just getting to know each other and we were friends. I was playing a game on Xbox. I don't remember what it was. My assumption is that it was Call of Duty 6, Black Ops 6. And I wanted for him to watch me. Like, hey, just watch me play via Discord. Well, at the time, I did not have Discord attached to my Xbox. I also don't even remember if that was a possible feature at the time, even though Discord and Xbox integration is currently a feature. I don't remember if in January of 2025, if that was a thing. I honestly do not remember. But I was like, well, I want you to watch me, but Discord, I don't want to get to work, or I can't get to work, whatever. But hey, Xbox has Twitch built into its UI. So I streamed for the first several times, not to show people my gameplay, like strangers, not to make it a thing, but literally just so my then friend, now boyfriend, could watch me. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like doing this, and it's actually like low maintenance. Like, I don't have to do a whole lot. The barrier to entry was so little. So I'm like, well, I don't have to spend like a lot of money. I just have to like download some programs and maybe figure out how they work. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm a streamer, you know. I don't stream as often as I want to, but I stream from time to time. So, you know, I can help you. And he helped me set some things up. I Google a lot of things, and while I will not say that I'm anything resembling a like, I'm not an experienced, like, I've been streaming for less than a year, so I'm not saying I'm any good at it, but you know, I enjoy it. It's a hobby, and I hope to keep the idea of streaming as a hobby for as long as I can, because if my brain does this thing where if I try something new and I am not immediately successful, whatever I deem to be successful, and I quit. So as long as I get this as a hobby and I keep trying at it, I hope that it continues to be a hobby. Whether or not I have an average of 2 viewers or 200 viewers. It is. You're back? You were starving? No, I get it. I'm right there with you. And that's why in about 20 minutes, when my food is done baking in the oven, I will stop streaming and go eat said food. And then promptly regret that I ate so much food. You like my opinion? Thank you. My various neuroses are like, hey, you've been streaming for 6 months. That's a long time. So you should already have like 1, 2, 3, 400 viewers and making so much money. And I'm like, that's not realistic. Just have fun with it. So there are days where I have this mental picture of myself as a streamer, and I'm just like, oh, why am I not using a webcam? Because I have terrible lighting, and once I buy a appropriate lighting, I will use the webcam more often. But I also do not like how I look on camera, either photos or videos. But mainly for this, it's because the few times I used to use my webcam, the lighting was so terrible, I looked like I should be on a watch list. So until I get some better lighting, then I'm not gonna use my camera for now. I'm not against it, just bad lighting right now. That's really it. Oh, hold on. Do not care for that. But yeah, I have a webcam. Why don't you make a PNG in your dog's character? So here's the thing, right? To give you a very abbreviated thing, I have like no artistic ability. And since I have no idea what kind of model I want to spend money on it, I was like, well, you know what? I'll use ChatGPT to make a model for now. A friend of mine who is an artist does not like that. And we had a minor argument. So it basically got to the point where I'm like, fine, I will not use ChatGPT or any form of AI to make a model. So I will draw my own. Since I have no artistic ability, or what I deem to be no artistic ability, I bought a drawing tablet and I was learning how to draw. I have not drawn anything in like a month or so. Oh God. So my goal is to get back into drawing and eventually get good enough where I make my own PNG model. ChatGPT, you have an idea over mine? Can you share it with me? Yeah, feel free. Feel free to share with me your idea. But yeah, I hyperfixated on the Hollow Knight Silksong expansion. So I stopped drawing like a month ago. So my hope is that once I finish playing the original Hollow Knight game to a good degree, that I will go back to learning how to draw. My previous attempts of learning how to draw are, in fact, on YouTube. They are archived. They're not good. Since I have issues deciding what to draw, what I did was I would just try to recreate Twitch emotes to various degrees of success. So, you know, that's fun. You have a friend who draw art and PNG stuff, but did he believe on you? So you do art animations for him? That's awesome. I feel like I am trash at all forms of art and I have no artistic vision or ability. But those around me are like, hey, everyone starts somewhere. I think you draw very well. And I'm like, you're lying to make me feel nice, but I thank you for it. So I'm just dealing with my negative self doubt in my head. But yes, I have not drawn anything in over a month at this point, even though I bought a drawing tablet. So I need to get back on that. But I've just been so focused on playing Silksong that I have not done so, which makes me a little sad. But you know, that happens. I do want to get good enough to where I can draw my own PNG model, like different ones, my own emotes, maybe even make like a GIF or something for like alerts. I would love to get good enough to where I feel comfortable with that. Um, the only thing on my profile, like my Twitch profile that I have created, is my banner, the like yellow lightning with the purple background. But that's not even all that impressive considering you could just download a lightning brush on Clip Studio Paint. You were thinking you should make a dog character and add unique expressions, like it's up to you. Yeah, actually, since I don't fully identify as like a pup or a furry or anything, I wanted to have a humanoid character, a canine character, and maybe something else. So like, depending on my mood, I can swap between any which one. But since I've already told myself, oh, either I'm gonna wait until someone I know and I love their art style can make me one, or I drop myself humanoid, a human shape, vague human shape and design, just humanoid. I don't know if my words are coming out clearly because of the alcohol in my system right now, so apologies if I am not clear with my words. Can you share some recent projects with you? At this time, I do not have any method for you to share projects with me besides you describing them to me. I do not have a Discord to open to the public, nor do I have like I do not have an Instagram. The only thing close to that I have is a TikTok. But I only created that like a week or two ago. So I barely know how to even use the damn thing. I mean, if you have Snapchat, nope, don't have it. I tried using it once years ago. It confused me, so I stopped using it. So I deleted it quite some time. I mean, if you have an Instagram, I can type in the username into Google and it can bring me like the public account, assuming it's public. But yeah. I do not have anything like that. Let's see. Let me look. Hold on. Let me do this. Save. Let's do a quick Google. Hi, KGT. How are you doing? Let's see. Instagram. Okay, I found it. I assume currently your profile picture is that of a woman with what looks to be red hair, red lipstick, and red eyeshadow. If I'm looking at the correct picture. If that is the case, yes. Okay, so you have a picture on there that is this purpley pink swirly stuff. Love that. Uh, I can't click on anything, so I can only look at what the icons show me. Um, but it looks really good. Is this drawn? Is this computer animated? Like, how did you create? Like, because these models are very nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Dave guy, uh, person you have is super cute. Not my aesthetic. Like, it's very cutesy anime, but I do appreciate the work it went into. It looks very good. You should be very proud of your work. You should be very proud of your work. It looks really neat. Back to the rock climbing wall. Okay. How much time left do I have to my food? Ooh, less than 10 minutes. So, you know what? I think I'm going to try to finish this tree, and that's when I will call it. It's a good stopping point. I do plan on streaming. Most likely, I plan on streaming tomorrow because I do want to continue in Hollow Knight and try to finish the things that I want to finish. I already have the next game picked that I'm going to try when Hollow Knight's finished. And it will be a surprise. Nothing crazy. It's a single player game. It's an old single player game, nonetheless. I mean, I know Argus and I will be playing some Destiny when the whole Renegades thing comes out in early December. But you know, in terms of single player, I already have it downloaded, and assuming my mind does not change between now and when I play it, I already know what next single player game I'm gonna play on stream. Ooh, I still have a good amount of beer. I need to finish this. Dave Guy is the cutest streamer and a friend too. The avatar is very cute. It is very cute. And I'm assuming that you created those avatars. And if so, what program did you use? Did you use Clip Studio Paint? Did you use Photoshop, Blender, Canva, um, or some other program that I don't know about because I'm not very familiar with the various programs people use to create things? Where is the effing ladder I had? Here it is. I wanted to beat the lizard. Oh well. I said do the tree and then call it a night. So I do need to let my dog out to go to the backyard to pee before I hop off. Well, not before I hop off, before I go to bed. Okay, that limb is done. And there we go. Alrighty, there we go. Let's do a quick savey save. And I feel like this one's annoying because oh god, I already can tell this is gonna be a pain in my ass. I don't know how to get back to like the career hub, like the main lobby. What kind of art do you love for your European? I I don't have any sort of how do I phrase this? I don't have much of an opinion because I've already told myself that unless I randomly find someone that I'm like, I love your art style and I want to have it as my character, my goal is to draw it myself. So I still need to learn how to draw so I can create my own. I will say, generally speaking, like the and I apologize if I'm saying this incorrectly. The chibi style, like the very cutesy, like the big eyes, rosy cheeks, small stature character. While I do appreciate that kind of art style, I don't know if I want it for my own avatar. My goal, like I said, my goal is to get good enough and confident enough to create my own, in however much of a disaster or success it may be. Um, but all right, everyone. For those of you watching, it's been going on for 3.5 hours, and I need to hop off to eat food, wind down, and get ready for bed. Um, I would like to thank everyone for stopping by, for watching and hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said earlier, my goal is to. I'm most likely going to stream again tomorrow because I'm off on Fridays, so I can do that. Um, it'll be more Hollow Knight. Continue on with the third Pantheon and going from there, and then depending on how well that goes, we'll see what happens. Um, sorry, my brain just like stalled for a moment. Uh, good night, KGT, and good night, Lena. I greatly appreciate you guys, y'all. Sorry, I should keep it gender neutral. I appreciate y'all from stopping by and chatting. I always appreciate the chatters and the lurkers because I'm a lurker myself to other people's streams. Um, let's do this, and then we are gonna put on some outro music. I hope all of y'all have a good rest of your morning, evening, whatever time zone y'all be, and I'll catch y'all the next time. Goodbye.